Hi, Renaud from Sofeast here. We often explain to clients the different types of product inspections that we can do at different stages of production. I drew a little flowchart to explain it to you. The first question obviously is it possible to send someone to the factory? And in 99.5% of the cases it's yes. But with COVID, with different kinds of political upheavals, sometimes it's not possible. So in some cases, an off-site inspection or off-site sample review through, for example, a real-time video call might make sense. By the way, this also might make sense for very small orders that don't call for a full-blown traditional inspection and can be checked in just 20 minutes, for example. Okay, in most cases you're here and it really does bring a lot of value to do it in the factory. That's how the inspector can pull samples at random. Otherwise it's a little bit too easy for the factory to play a game. So the next question is this the first time that this factory makes this product? If it's a new product for this factory, there is always a risk, always an extra risk. So let's say no, they've been making this same product for a long time. The only thing that changes maybe is the logo or the color. Okay, then a final random inspection may be sufficient, especially if the amount of the order is not very high. Okay, if the amount of the order is relatively high, then you're still better off doing an inspection during production. But otherwise, you might just go for a final random inspection, which takes place typically when everything has been completed. And the products are also mostly packed. Okay, but then the next question is it okay if from time to time you have 2, 3, 4, 5% of defective products? Is that a big problem or not? And if that's fine, it's not a big problem, then random inspections are okay. Final random inspection, right? However, if that would hurt your business a lot, and if you don't know that manufacturer very well, you might need to consider having an inspection on 100% of the products. Okay, which obviously is quite a different approach from final random inspection, but if it's done outside of the factory, it can actually be done in a cost-efficient manner in some cases. Okay, so if this is the first time that this factory makes this specific product, well, then you need to check more carefully several times during production. And with most types of products, hard goods with or without electrical modules in them, you will start with a final random a first article inspection, which is pretty clear, checking the first 1 piece or 5 pieces or 10 pieces coming out of the line fully completed, and doing a very careful inspection, a really in-depth inspection of these first pieces, so that everybody knows if that's going well or not. In some cases, it might be a little bit different. It might be on a pilot that the factory is doing, so maybe on the first 100 pieces. But the idea is to give feedback as fast as possible, and if there are issues, to study these issues right now with the people at the factory, so that number one, they are contained, they're not shipped to the customer, and number two, they are investigated and the rest of production doesn't have these same issues. Okay, and then probably an inspection also later during production, and then if these two show everything is fine, very good, packing is not very risky, then you can just let them ship. I would say in most cases that would make sense. However, if there are some issues in some of these inspections, you still want a final random inspection, very probably. And it's very much the same idea with textile products. People usually call it a pre-production meeting, thinking of the risks and checking the first few pieces coming out of the line and so on. It's the same general approach also inspection later during production, and then if there are some issues, also a final random inspection, also to confirm the packing, right? Because these inspections typically are not on fully packed products. Okay, now if it's a very small batch, forget about the inspection during production here. You might go with the FAI or the PP meeting, and then right away a final random inspection. That's fine. So that's an overview. Now, two things very important to keep in mind. You always need a quality standard. Otherwise, what does the inspector know about what you want, right? What are they going to flag? You need to document your quality standard as well as possible. And of course, approved samples do help a lot. The second thing I want to mention is that all of this is, the factory, this factory. Now, if you know that there is another factory upstream, so your sub-supplier, right, your tier 2 supplier, that is making a customized, highly critical component, well, you might also want to do the same in that other factory, right? Or at least with a final random inspection, so that the products are, the components, the bad components maybe are contained in that sub-supplier's facility. Okay, so I hope that's useful. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.